I think I can speak for a lot of people when I say that getting a salon-worthy blowout at home can be really difficult. And I have been searching for years to find the perfect hairstyling tool that will help me achieve that. Maybe you have really heavy, long, thick hair like me that just feels like it goes flat, or maybe really fine hair where you struggle to get volume. But nothing is worse than spending like an hour on a blowout at home and then within 30 minutes, it goes flat. I love trying out a new hair tool that promises to improve my life. If you've been around, then you've probably seen lots of different hairstyling tool reviews on the channel. So I'm really stoked because I recently got my hands on the Shark Smooth style. This is a pretty new to market product, and I am so excited to try this out with you all today. There are a lot of round brush blow dryer tools on the market these days, but I think this one has a couple features that really set it apart from the rest, and I'm really interested to see how it performs. Before we dive in, let's talk function. This tool has a couple promises. It says it will give you all day shine and gloss. It's curly, coily, and color friendly. It is high shine without the frizz, wet or dry styling. For straight or wavy hair like mine, you get shape and volume. For curly and coily hair, it can stretch and smooth. Fastest bouncy blowout without the frizz that will last all day. Okay, let's see, Shark. Let's see what you got. This 2-in-1 tool has two essential modes. You have your typical wet mode, which is going to be your blow dry styling mode. And then you've got dry mode. So essentially, you can use this not only to blow dry your hair, but you can also use it to refresh your blowout or to just give yourself a little bit of extra volume or some easy smoothing without having to pull out a curling iron or a flat iron. The shape is a little different than your typical blow dryer brush. It is a teardrop shape. So instead of it being round, you've got a little bit of a pointed area right here. And this is what's going to help you get really close to the root and sort of pick it up and create that volume. And in this particular area, you'll see that it has ceramic plates here. So these plates right here heat up and you can obviously adjust the temperature. You've got this black scalp guard here so that you can ensure that you don't burn your scalp, which I really appreciate. And this really helps you get in as close as you can to the root and create that volume, which obviously is kind of difficult to do when you're working with a completely round brush. So that's already a feature that I'm a huge fan of. These ceramic plates have even heat distribution, and they really help to create that glossy, shiny look when heat styling. I also love all the boar bristles going on here, and I love the length of the bristles. I feel like this is going to create like a lot of grip in the hair. We tried some similar round brushes before in the past that just did not hold my hair properly. So let's get started. I just washed my hair earlier. I put in some detangler. You want to make sure that your hair is nice and brushed out. Starting a timer right now just to test how long it takes me to blow my hair out with this tool. As a side note, whenever I blow my hair dry, I always use this product. This is the Color Wow Dream Coat Spray. I absolutely love this stuff. I've been recently testing out the extra strength Dream Coat Spray. I usually just get the regular one. And I love this because spray it like all throughout your hair before you blow dry. And the heat styling activates this product and it protects your hair against frizz, makes it super shiny and soft, gives you sort of that glass hair effect. And when you use this, it lasts for 3 shampoos, so you don't have to even do it every time you blow your hair dry. Now, I'm testing out the extra strength one because I wanted to see if it made much of a difference, and honestly, I haven't really seen that, but I also don't live in a place that has a lot of humidity. Maybe I'm not the best person to make the comparison, but I think the regular one is fine. I also have a curly hairstyle version, so I will link that right here if you guys want to shop it. Oh, one of my absolute favorite products, and if you end up trying it out, come back and let me know. I've turned so many friends onto it. They all are as obsessed as I am. Clipping up the majority of my hair, I always like to work in sections because I have a lot of hair. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, wet mode. And I don't know how this is going to sound. Okay, so this is actually pretty loud, so I'm just gonna give you my inner monologue. So right off the bat, I really like how the brush actually does grip my hair and the bristles so well. I don't have to use my free hand to guide the brushes to make sure that the hair doesn't fly off. I kind of just help it out a little bit, and then I can mostly do it one-handed, which is awesome.
Another amazing feature is this does not give you any heat damage because it measures temperature 1,000 times per second and continuously regulates heat for safe styling, so you're not damaging the hair. Just one little fun technique that I sort of observed from my hairdresser when I go get my hair done by her. So when you're blowing your hair out, you always want to be kind of twisting the hair and pulling it out as you go, and it creates a little bit more of a bend in the hair.
Section 1 done. Initial thoughts, I think it's, creating really nice, beautiful, shiny waves. I also love how thin it is to hold in the hand. Some of my other blow dryer brushes are kind of thicker. I know that's kind of like a smaller thing, but I just feel like ease, usability is definitely a factor. So I'm loving that it just doesn't feel as hard to hold with one hand. And also the fact, again, that the bristles really seem to grip my hair super well. So very impressed by that. I just want to also note that you can also control how powerful the wind that it's creating is with this button, and then the heat can be adjusted here. So you can definitely customize the power and the temperature to suit your hair and what you need. But because I got thick, coarse hair, I go for the max amount of wind and the max amount of heat for sure.
Okay, back to my inner monologue. I'm really impressed with how fast this brush works and just how easy it is to pass my hair through the bristles. They don't get caught, and the power of the blow dryer really does make quick work of blowing your hair dry, which I really appreciate. And really, when it comes to your ends, it's all about what you prefer. You can roll the brush inward for a C curl, or you can roll it outward away from your head for more of like a flipped out ends look.
We're almost there. This is going by pretty fast, which I love because usually it takes me so long to get my hair dry, especially when I started with my hair being as wet as it was. I usually try to wait, let my hair air dry a little bit more before I start the blow dry process, just to make it a little bit less laborious on my part, but this thing acts quick.
And now let's speed this process up a little bit.
Did I get it all dry? It's kind of hard to tell. I'm using my iPhone that's mounted right here as like my mirror. This is the finished product of blow drying with this Shark 2-in-1 glossy tool. Now I could totally stop here because I feel like my hair looks really, really good. It looks shiny, it looks bouncy. I feel like it's got a little volume on the top. I really don't have any complaints. I'm a little bit late at looking at the stopwatch, but it took me about 30 minutes to go from wet, very wet, to dry hair, which I think is pretty impressive considering how much hair that I have. So I love how quickly this thing works. This is the point where you can take it one step further if you want. A lot of times when I used to blow my hair dry, I'd go in with a flat iron afterwards to kind of smooth everything out, because sometimes, you are left with a little bit of frizz after a blow dry and you want to kind of seal in the cuticle. But with this, you don't have to, because now we can turn it on to the dry mode. And as you can see, I just switched that on and it's silent. And it's going to need a couple minutes or so to warm up. You can see the little indicator light right there is sort of faintly blinking. That means that it is heating up. I have it on the lowest heat setting, but I'm going to turn it up to, I think, a 3. Now I can go in once it is ready and just sort of create even more waves in my hair and sort of brush through with these ceramic heated plates to give the same thing that a flat iron after blow drying would do. Now you can see the indicator light is a solid green, so that means it is heated up, and I can definitely feel the heat coming out of the ceramic plate area. That is really the only area I think that is emitting heat So this pointed part is what you want to focus. So I really want to get that pointed part as close to my root as possible. And then I'm going to brush through and pull up and out. And then I might do a little twisty twist here to give it more bend. It looks really nice. It's just working to sort of smooth out the top of my hair. I also am, unfortunately, very gray underneath all this color. So as I've started to go gray, I've noticed that, that's so nice. I've noticed that the texture of my grays as they grow in has become so different than my natural like hair that I have had up until this point in my life. I typically have really straight, sleek hair, and my grays grow in really coarse and wiry and just have a little bit of a mind of their own. And I tend to notice that like the top of my head has a lot of little baby hairs and growth that are probably grays because they are absolutely the craziest things. I don't know if you can kind of see that on camera, but I feel like I just constantly have that. And so this, I think, really helps to tame those a little bit using the heat, smooth them out a little bit so they're not quite so untamable and out of control. And when you're doing this part, you really want to make sure that you're working in small sections because you want to make sure that all the hair that you're brushing through is making contact with those heated ceramic plates. Just trying to give it a little bit more of a bend. I really don't feel like I need to do too terribly much with this dry mode because honestly, like I said, the blow dry itself looked so good. Yeah. I feel like this dry mode might be really useful for anyone who has bangs to sort of like brush through their bangs to sort of refresh them in the morning because every time I've had bangs, I feel like when you wake up and you've slept funny on them, they look crazy. All right, here is my gorgeous Shark Blowout. I love it. I love the fact that this round brush is a little bit smaller also in diameter than some of my other ones. I feel like the ones that I have are kind of bigger and because they're bigger, they just can't create as much of a curl or a dramatic curl as a smaller barrel could. So I really appreciate that about this. I think it looks super good, really shiny. My hair feels really soft. I know that's probably also due to the fact that I use this. First impressions, I'm loving it. I want to check back with you guys in a couple days just to see how my blowout is surviving and also to see if after a couple days we can use this to sort of revive this blowout to give it even more longevity and make it last longer throughout the week. So let's fast forward to 2 or 3 days from now and check back in and see how my hair is doing. So I know that I said that I was going to wait a couple days to do a check-in. It's only been, today's the next day, but I booked an acting gig. I have to be on set really early tomorrow morning and I don't know exactly what they're going to do with my hair. So just in case they like shellac it down to my head, I wanted to make sure I followed up with my little at-home blowout. As you can see, she's still going strong. I love the bend in my hair is still there. It's still got that little bit of wave that I put in. And it still looks really good. I'm very, very impressed. Now, one of the great things about this particular tool is that you can use it to refresh your hairstyle. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that with you guys really quick because I am supposed to show up hair and makeup ready tomorrow morning at the very bright and early hour of 6 a.m. So I figured I'd just give my hair a little bit of a refresh before I go to bed, and hopefully by tomorrow morning, it'll still be looking good enough to show up and the hair and makeup artist can kind of give it a little zhuzh if they feel like they need to. Because I am going to put it on the dry hair setting, there is no noise. And honestly, I could just heat style it like this, but you do have the option to also incorporate the airflow if you would like when you're doing the dry styling. I think I'm gonna try it on like a low air setting just to see if it gives it like a little bit more of like body and volume again in my hair. So just waiting for it to get heated up and it seems like it is good to go. All right, and there is my little blowout refresh. I feel like it looks so freaking good. Fingers crossed tomorrow that they don't put a bunch of products in my hair and like do my hair in an updo. They just kind of like decide that they like my blowout and let me have that so that I can come back in maybe a couple more days and we can assess how long this blowout lasted, if we think this hairstyling tool really is all it's cracked up to be. But so far, I'm quite obsessed. I think it is going to replace all the other blow dryer brushes that I have in my bathroom.
3 days later.
I am now on, I believe, day 4 of my blowout. When I went to set, they actually did nothing to my hair. They loved the way that my blowout looked so much that they just kind of brushed it a little bit and sent me on my merry way to film. So that is the great news for my little review and experiment here. Final thoughts on the Shark Glossi 2-in-1 hair tool. This retails at $179 and, you know, not the cheapest of hair products out there, not the most expensive either. Considering the fact that you can get basically 2 different heat styling tools in one, I think it's a really great price. Like, hair is still looking good on day 4. Not gonna have the same volume on top anymore, obviously. I also just went to the gym today, so it got a little bit sweaty in the roots. All things considered, it really makes my hair look super nice for days on end, which I love because the less I have to worry about my hair every day, if I can do my hair like once or twice a week and then basically set it and forget it, that's the goal for me. I do think it's gonna take a little bit more of a learning curve to like learn how to really use this aspect of it to its fullest extent, but I think this is probably going to take the place of my 2 other blow dry brushes that I already have. I love this. Highly recommend. Such a great tool. And as we approach the holiday season, might also make a really great gift idea for the person on your list who, you know, loves a good blowout, maybe struggles to do it at home, or just, you know, maybe needs a little upgrade for their hair tool as well, like I did. If you all have any further questions about this tool, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. You'll want to subscribe and stay tuned because this just came in the mail for me today. Shark sent me their Shark Glam Hot Tool Air Styling and Drying System, which is kind of like their competition to the Dyson Airwrap system, which I've had for years and I've always sworn by, but I really want to see how this compares. So if you're interested in like a review of this video, some comparison to the Dyson Airwrap, then hit that red subscribe button. While you're here, you might want to check out this recent review that I did of a really cool facial device that you can get amazing results at home with. So I'm going to pop that right here so you can check that one out next. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or found it helpful in any way. I'll see you all over here. And if not, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.